Hey, what's up guys? It's Allie, and I don't know about where you guys are, but all of a sudden, we were getting snow like still a week ago, and today it jumped into like the mid-70s, so I'm like in a tank top. I haven't even bothered to put in my contacts. I have barely any makeup on my face. I basically just did a little bit for the purpose of this video, and my body's not used to it, so I'm kind of like, it's not pleasant. But anyway, as I'm speaking about the purpose of this video, this is a quick, I wouldn't really call it a BH Cosmetics haul, because I only got one thing. Technically two if you can include the free gift, but technically I only got one thing. But I guess it'll be kind of a review video on the BH Cosmetics 36-piece Ultimate Brush Kit. And as you can tell, this thing is pretty big. It's bigger than my head, all folded up even. It's got a little kiss lock right here, so if I just flip that up, I can do this, and I'm holding it upside down, so let's flip it. So, yeah, it's a pretty extensive kit. Let me see if I can manage to hold this with the little thing flipped up so you guys can kind of see the brushes a little bit. There are a few missing, but that's because I used them, and I'll be going over those in a couple of minutes here. That's just a giant fan brush. So this kit is 36 brushes, and it retails on BH Cosmetics, at least currently, I know, for $32.95, which is an amazing deal for 36 brushes. It's less than $1 a brush. So I was super excited. I needed new brushes, so I just bit the bullet and got this big kit. So basically, I would never need to buy another makeup brush again. And I'm honestly so impressed with the quality. I can't talk about how they clean or anything yet because I haven't had the opportunity to clean them. But I've felt all of them, and the quality of these brushes just feels so nice. The one thing I don't really like is none of these are numbered. You can go on and find a picture with all the names, but they don't all come in order when you open up this brush wrap. I've tried to like put these in order, but some of them I'm still not totally sure on. So I will do a quick overview of all of these brushes, but I honestly cannot guarantee I'm totally giving you the right brush name on some of these, because some of these are so similar and I can't match them up to the picture to save my life. So, first brush in this kit is just a lash and brow comb. And one thing I do really like about these, just a side note, is I do really like this color. It's like a steel colored handle, and all of the brushes have this. I don't know why, I just really like that. And it's just the plastic comb with the plastic bristles on this end. Pretty standard brush. And another pretty standard brush, just a spoolie brush for your brows. I did use this. It was just real quick to groom my brows. Then the first like actual brush that you kind of get in here, let me take off the little plastic, is just a little fan brush. It is really soft. It's not very dense, but I don't think with fan brushes you really have to be particularly dense. You just kind of need to be able to brush away any fallout or anything like that. And I know there's a lot of other things you can use this for, but I'll probably work with that as we go along with it. And then the one thing that's in a lot of brush kits that hardly anyone uses, the sponge tip. And I might actually get some light use out of this because it's not the typical just foam spongy tip. This actually feels kind of rubbery, like it might actually hold up to something. So maybe I'll be able to use that for some kind of smudging or something. I don't know yet, we'll see. And then the next one in here is a just regular liner brush, just the straight liner brush. Pretty standard. One that I used is this angled liner brush, and I actually used this for my brows, and I'll show you why I used this particular one for my brows later, but I did use this for my brows. And the next one in here, I'm using the little photo that came online to see how this is. I believe this is one of the ones I got really confused on because some of these just look so similar, or they don't look like what they say they are, that I feel like I've totally misplaced some of these. But if I'm correct, this is the rounded eyeliner brush, and I've never used a rounded liner brush before, so that'll be pretty interesting to check out. I'm not sure I'm gonna like it based on the looks of it, but hey, we will check it out. And also, pretty standard is a bent eyeliner brush. It's just the bent with the little, it's basically the same as the straight eyeliner brush, just with a bent tip there. Next up, what is this one? It's all the eye brushes. I'm gonna have to look at this photo. I'm sorry in advance. This is a small smudger brush, and it is very small. It's definitely pretty stiff. And then the reason I used that one for my brows is they also have a small angled liner brush in this kit. And just for comparison's sake, the one here is the original, this is the small. There is definitely a difference. You can tell this one is definitely longer. And when it comes to liner, I tend to want to be more precise, so I figured I would be using the small more for actual eyeliner use. Because when it comes to eyeliner, I do prefer angled liner brushes. So I figured the bigger one would be better used as a brow brush. Then, as opposed to the big rounded liner brush, we have the small rounded liner brush. And that's just a smaller version of what we saw before. If you really want a comparison, there you go. Obviously this one's the big one, this one's the small one. Yeah, big here, small there. It about covers it. And then we have yet another liner brush. I know it's a lot of liner brushes, but I swear this is the last actual eyeliner brush, and it is a flat liner brush. I know some people prefer these, depends on what you like. Basically, no matter what you like to do with your liner, you've got it in here. And then one that I'm actually kind of super excited to try, I've never seen anything like this before. This is the Eyeliner Smudger Brush. And it's just got kind of a bullet tip there, but the thing is, this isn't really a brush. This tip is really rubbery, so it really, a few videos ago in my Easter tutorial, I smudged my eyeliner with a Q-tip. I feel like this will be a really, really good substitute for that. Which is obviously why it's an eyeliner smudger brush. Here I have a rounded, angled smudge brush. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It's angled. The bristles are in a round shape, so they don't sit flat. They are totally round all the way around. And I'm not totally sure what I would use this one for, but like a lot of brushes in this kit, I just gotta experiment. These are a lot of brushes that I've never even seen before, so I'm just gonna have to play with them, see how I like them. Brush, this is the lip brush. Very simple, straight to the point. You use it for lip color. I've never really seen too much variation on a lip brush, you know. And then this is the concealer brush. Just a very typical concealer brush. I will say this is not very stiff, but I honestly prefer less stiff concealer brushes because I don't want to feel like I'm going to be poking out my eye when I'm applying concealer underneath my eyes. I really like that kind of concealer brush. I think this is the short smudger brush, obviously for smudging eyeliner and eyeshadow and whatnot. It's pretty stiff, exactly what you would need for smudging. And then in this slot right here is one that I used, so that's why this looks dirty, is because I have used it. And this, in comparison to the regular concealer brush, is the small concealer brush. And this is what I actually used under my eyes. So here we have the regular concealer brush, here we have the small concealer brush. This one's a lot easier to tell because one's dirty and the other's not. The small is dirty, the regular is not. So you've got two different concealer brushes you're dealing with there. And probably the two that I'm most excited about, I'll show both of them at once because they're the same, just different sizes again, is we have a smudge brush, which is this is the regular smudge brush, this is the small smudge brush, but really they're more just like pencil brushes. And for a lot of the looks I'm going to be showing you guys soon, I really needed detailing brushes. These are pretty much exactly what I needed. I'm super stoked to be using these. You're going to be seeing these real soon in plenty of videos. The last one on this photo that I'm seeing, so I'm going to have to swap photos in a second, this is just a crease brush. Nice and fluffy. It's going to do the job for your crease. It's really not much to say about it. It's a good crease brush. Some crease brushes can be pretty stiff, but this one is just kind of just right. It's not too fluffy, but it's not too stiff. Do you get what I'm saying? Next, we have the flat eyeshadow brush, which kind of just looks like a broom almost. It's very, very lightly packed. It's not very dense or stiff. It'll do the job. I'm personally not a huge fan of flat shadow brushes, but they have their place. This next one is one that I have never really seen before, and this is kind of a bit different than that round angled brush that I showed you. This is just a round flat top brush. It almost just looks like you extended the brush a little bit with just bristles. It's really kind of funky, and I can't say I've ever really seen anything like it before. It's pretty stiff. It's about the same stiffness as a regular eyeshadow brush, but I can't say I've ever used anything like this before, so I'm really curious to kind of check it out. And after that, once again, I can't be totally sure. I think this is the regular eyeshadow brush. It looks a little long, so I feel like I've totally messed this up. I'm sorry, guys, but they don't number these. It's really hard to tell based on just the photos. I'm doing what I can for you. But yeah, it's just a typical eyeshadow brush from what I can tell. And then there's an angled shadow brush, which is angled kind of weirdly, but that could be pretty interesting. Not too dense, fairly stiff. Then you've got a nice fluffy blending brush, very nice, soft, what you need for blending, basically. We have a short shadow brush, which is just basically a shorter version of what I just showed you not long ago. I feel like I'm going to be using this more often because the longer one is kind of funky. I'm not sure I really dig that, but we'll see. And then this is the angled blending brush, just kind of the same thing, just cut on an angled tip. And this is the large shadow brush. It's pretty big. All I can think of for this one is just using it for an all-over wash when I'm doing just a really soft look. So I'll probably get some use out of this one. I'm not sure how much, but we'll find out. Believe it or not, that does it for eye brushes. Now we're moving on to face brushes. The next one in the line I did use to put on my face here, and that's just a typical foundation brush. Ignore this little thing. I keep these on them because it's just an extra layer of protection when it's sitting in the case. And so it's just a very typical brush, about the stiffness you would expect out of a foundation brush. Nothing special. And you have, this is the small blush brush. Very soft, very fluffy, good for just dusting on a light amount of blush, because God knows we don't want to overcolor our cheeks and look like a clown. And also for applying blush, we have the angled blush brush. Now this one I really couldn't recommend for contouring or anything because it is very, very fluffy. You're not going to get a real defined line with this. However, because of that, the next one in here is specifically called the Highlight and Contour Brush. And it looks like this. It's really kind of round and just kind of flat. I'm not sure how good this is. I'm going to try it and see how it compares to my Real Techniques sculpting brush. I really like that brush, so we'll see if this beats it or can even compare. We will find out. And very fun was when I was putting on my foundation before I tried the regular foundation brush. I tried a new kind of brush, well, new for me. I don't typically use these, and that is the Duo Fiber Stippling brush. I've never used a stippling brush before. This is my very first one, and I did kind of like how it applied. I've never tried it, never really checked one out in a Sephora or an Ulta or anything. So this was just kind of fun to kind of test out, and it's very straightforward, I think. It just feels pretty soft, not too stiff. It's pretty much the stiffness it needs to be to do the job. I mean, you're stippling onto your face like this. You don't want too soft, but you don't want too stiff, otherwise you're going to be causing pain, and nobody wants that. And we have the large powder brush, and I obviously haven't used this one yet because I am not putting like anything on my face right now because it's so hot. And then the last brush in this kit is the extra large fan brush, and it is about the size of my palm when you're looking at this. It's pretty nuts. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for yet, but like the rest of these, I'm just going to have to experiment and find out. But that is all 36 brushes in here. I'm really excited to kind of just test all of them out because a lot of these brushes are brushes that I have never had before. So I'm really curious to check them out. And then actually free with my purchase of this, it told me I was getting a mystery palette, but I kind of figured out after a couple days what palette I was getting because I was seeing comments on Instagram and everything of, oh, I got this palette, and they were all the same. And so I really wasn't surprised when my mystery palette was the Eyes on the 80s palette. And I don't know what I was really hoping for in terms of one of the BH Cosmetics palettes because I really liked a lot of them. But I am kind of glad I got this one because now looking at it, it has a lot of the shades that I want to use for different looks coming up. I mean, it has a matte of pretty much every color in the rainbow. And then some shimmers, a couple nudes. And so far I have swatched these, and I will say that they swatch a little chalky, but I'm not sure how they'll apply with the brushes. One second, let me swatch a couple for you guys. How about I'll swatch this dark pink matte, this yellow shimmer, this shimmery brown, and then I'll do this matte lime green. One on each of my fingers. And that's just how they look on my fingertips before I actually swatch them. I know they're kind of washed out by the light, but then I'll just run my fingertips along the back of my hand, and they come out pretty well. Let me see. Yeah, the green one is hard to see. The green one is pretty chalky, but I don't know if you can, yeah, you guys can't see that. So the green swatch is a little light. Then you can see this brown shimmer, then this gold shimmer, and then the pink. So this is going to be used quite a bit coming up soon because a lot of the colors in this palette are in album covers that I already have tutorials planned on, so this really is just saving me from buying something I would kind of have to anyway. So that worked out rather nicely. There's 30 different colors in here. I think this palette retails for $9.95 on BH Cosmetics. I don't know what their deal is right now. BH Cosmetics runs deals all the time. So if you don't think that you're getting a good enough deal right now, seriously wait. They start new deals like every 2 or 3 days, something ridiculous, and it's always something really good. If it's something you'd be interested, go to bhcosmetics.com and you can check it all out. So that was all the brushes in the BH Cosmetics Ultimate 36-piece brush kit. This thing is ginormous. I'm probably going to be traveling with this a lot because it's really got everything I need in it. I might maybe pack my kabuki brush because I don't feel like that powder brush really covers it for me, but that's like the only brush outside of this that I really feel like I need. Pretty much everything else is covered. And then you also saw the Eyes on the 80s palette. I know that they have a bunch of other, maybe not a bunch of other palettes. I know they have at least Eyes on the 70s. I think they used to have Eyes on the 60s, but I know they don't anymore. I don't think there's a 90s one. but they have a lot of palettes similar to this. So go ahead and check those out. They are really pretty good quality for the price. So that's going to do it for me today, guys. You can follow me on Twitter at Allie_Saint. On Instagram, Allie.Saint. I have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/AllieSaintYouTube. And I have a Tumblr account, which is alliesaint.tumblr.com. And I think that covers all my social media. I don't think I have anything more than that. Not that I use anyway. That's it. It's like midnight right now where I am. So I'm going to take my face off, brush my teeth, and go to bed. So, but by the time you'll be seeing this, it's going to be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, hope you're having a good day. So until next time, peace out, guys.